Freddie, I think I'm going to record on my end too.
Yeah, of course. Can you do it from there?
I think so. I don't know if you have to approve it, but no, I'm an
No.
should be able to approve it. So
Yeah, you actually set recording, and I had to allow it. So now
okay.
it's recording.
So I think we're both recording this. Perfect.
Hi, Chris. Good to see you. Alexander, good to see you. Brian, I didn't say hello to you, Brian, but I was thinking about you, meaning to say hello. I think I said it in my own mind.
I heard you.
Good. I thought so. We're only down the road from me now, so we're in the same.
I'll be seeing you on Saturday.
Yeah, that'll be good. I look
Kesh,
forward to it.
everyone else, whoever is going on Saturday.
Yeah, it's going to be great fun.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
Let's see you standing on Monday. Hi, Jenny. Jenny's been my tour guide today. She's showing me all around the beauty spots around Dublin and Wicklow, and we went to this beautiful place called the Hill of Tara.
Hill of Tara.
Hill of Tara, a sacred place, and it was beautiful there.
Yeah, it's a great day.
Place.
It was beautiful.
Very special planet.
Yeah. Amazing, really. I'm glad Freddie got to experience it.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it wasn't expected. I just thought I'd get here a day earlier and maybe see Dublin City tomorrow, but to go and see all the beautiful sights today. And thanks for Jenny for doing that. It was really good of her.
My pleasure. Absolute pleasure. It's a great day.
Well, welcome everybody. We'll give a few minutes because I'm gonna kind of do a little bit of a longer process today, and I want to make sure the people that are coming are here before I get started. So we can sit and chat. I know Freddie's in Dublin or outside of Dublin, Freddie?
I'm in Dublin, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
and how many of you are going to the Irish convention this week? Okay. Oh, we got a few hands there. I'll have to put that on my calendar for next year.
I don't know if I'll allow you in. I'll probably meet you off the plane with banners.
I think you're exaggerating a little bit, Freddie, but that's
okay. It was Jenny that told me.
He's not exaggerating. We are. We said you're like a human Ken doll. Okay, it's out there now on the recording.
I'm gonna have to turn my camera off. I'm blushing too much.
You're gonna keep wearing that blonde wig. You're gonna get in trouble. That's the way it goes.
It's so much work. I just want to shave my head again. I'm ready to do that.
I'm thinking about buying one myself, to be honest with you. Where'd you get yours? Because I might get the same one.
I'll send you the link after the call.
Yeah.
They're not cheap though, Freddie. It's not cheap to look this good.
Be like human Ken doll and his granddad. Yeah, it'd be great.
Then Kesh will have to get one too. It's gonna catch on.
It is, yeah.
Oh no, this is good enough for me. Having all that hair is just an inconvenience.
I agree. I totally agree.
You know what they say? That God in his wisdom made only so many perfect heads and the rest he covered with hair.
True, yeah.
It's perfect.
Very true.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Don't laugh. This is very serious. All right. So today we're not going to start yet, but we'll just have a conversation. So today we're going to talk about our authentic self. So there's this part of you that comes into the world, and over time, you think that you have to protect it and that you have to cover it up and that you have to change it and be something else. And along the way, it gets exhausting because we forget who we really are. We forget what we really want and what we're meant to do and be here on this earth. and we learn to protect ourselves. We learn that we have to strive and achieve in order to feel worthy, in order to feel good, in order to feel joy. And so today we're going to reverse that process. We're going to find the one thing that nothing outside of you can deliver. We're going to find that wholeness, that feeling of being authentic, that level of self-acceptance by going deep. I mean, deep inside to find what most people are searching the outside world for. They think someday when I have this, I can feel whole. Someday when I achieve this, when this person approves of me, then I can get that sense of belonging, that sense of freedom, and that sense of abundance. But we all know that's an empty road. And when we go inside and we find that, and we really don't even have to do anything, all we have to do is allow that part of us to the surface, we can feel what we're seeking on the outside. What we think the external world will give us, we can then start to feel it from the inside. And we don't have to go anywhere. We don't have to achieve anything. We don't have to change who we are. In fact, it's about doing less and allowing that part of us to be and to rise to the surface. So that's what this process is about today. I'm going to record it. Well, we're recorded anyway, but I was a little more intentional. I scripted it, which, you know, if you know me, usually I just hit some bullet points and then I love to kind of shoot from the hip, but I was a little more intentional with this process. So I'm going to kind of read through the script a little bit. It'll be natural. You guys won't even know, but I just want to give you a heads up. And I'm really excited about it. I think this is the core of what we do. A lot of times hypnotists or coaches are trying to program us to be something else, right? We often program to go get that success, to get that validation, to become something different. And this is really about not needing those programs. This is really about allowing that true part of you to shine so that you can accomplish and you can have all the things you want in your life still, but from that state of feeling whole and feeling like you accept yourself. Is everybody on board for that? Does that sound like a good session today? And I know this is a lot of what Freddie's work is based on. So Freddie, do you have any thoughts before we dive into this?
No, this is all you today. I'm looking forward to it myself. But I did hear something the other day, which I think relates to what you're going to do for us today. They said, if you don't know who you are, the world will decide for you. Which I thought kind of relates. If you don't know who you are, the world will tell you who you are. So we need to be aware of our own self and understand who we truly are, which I know you're going to get us to today. Our real worth, our real value, our intrinsic self, which I've been saying is light, energy, and joy. It's where we come into the world until, as you say, Nick, people persuade us otherwise. So let's get back to that today. I'm really looking forward to this.
Give us a minute. We got a few people signing in. I think Linda's trying to enter, and I think I've approved her a couple times. So let's see if we can get her in before we start. But yes, it's light, energy, and joy. It's almost like you can read my mind, Freddie. Or maybe you just put these suggestions in there and then I think they're my ideas, but really they're your ideas. I don't know the difference.
We're one of the same. We're just like twins, but separated.
Separated or joined? We're joined by space, aren't we? Yeah. The space can separate or it can join.
Yeah. You know, the sum of the parts are, what is it they say? Greater than the sum of the parts.
The whole is greater than the sum of the parts. That's right.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know what to tell Linda because it's just joining.
I'll keep trying to let her in,
but it's never. The other Linda's in. The other Linda's in, but the LYNDA Linda is not quite in yet. Okay. I would love first to hear from any of you. Are you here just for the weekly call, or did this one specifically speak to you? Is there something about this process that you wanted to get or that you're anticipating? I'd love to hear from any of you before we start.
I think the words I was trying to find there, Nick, was if you don't decide who you are, the world will decide for you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Quiet group today.
They're all waiting in the anticipation.
I missed what it was about.
Oh,
what the call
perfect,
is about.
Allison. Well, then you are in for a great surprise.
I came in for Freddie and Nicholas's energy. I didn't really know what it was about today, so I'm just here because of the people that are presenting this.
Okay.
But I love this. Let's say how synchronistic this is. This subject has come up for me 3 times in the last 3 days, so this is perfect.
Right.
3 times is the sign, right? That's when you know if it's a book or a course or something you need to do. That's the sign. Perfect. Well, we'll get into that. Anyone else?
I'm excited about the topic.
Good. Good. All right. Well, let's get situated. I have a little bit of a setup. I'm going to kind of talk through some things. You can just close your eyes and listen to it. You can keep them open, whatever you want to do. As you get comfortable, just preparing to access some parts of you that you may have been neglecting. And maybe set an intention for yourself, for what you want to get out of this process, and imagine at the end of this process what it's like having had the exact experience that you need. Rudyard Kipling said, "Beware of overconcern for money or position or glory. Someday you will meet a man who cares for none of these things. Then you will know how poor you are." When one can shed the expectations and standards of society and be themselves, their true self, their authentic self, the need for money, position, or glory fades. Ironically, as your authentic self, it's much easier to get money or position or glory from a place where you don't need it. Your real self is a frequency. It's a feeling emanating from the core of your being. It's not a skill set. It's not a career identity. It's not a relationship status. It's not a bank balance. It's not validation from your parents or partners or friends or your boss. It's not even the physical body you inhabit. Life events happen to you, and as a child, you gave them meaning. A meaning that you had to become something other than what you truly are. Imagine yourself now as a child, innocently and unknowingly picking up beliefs. Beliefs like, I need to disguise who I truly am. I better protect myself. I need to change myself. I must accomplish more. I have to meet these people's expectations. Get a sense of that perfect, radiant, and innocent child taking on these heavy burdens, and notice how their light and their true self has dimmed over years of programming. Those heavy burdens, the layers of expectations create energy blocks, repressed emotions, and a myriad of symptoms. Notice the compassion that you feel for your younger self. And allow your unconscious mind to gather together all of those unnecessary burdens and all of those old programs together in one place. In a few moments, your unconscious mind will let go of them completely. Imposter syndrome is just wanting to be something other than what you truly are. It's you trying to prove to the world that you are something that has absolutely nothing to do with the core of your being. If I have this money, I'll be good enough. If I have this title, I'll finally be happy. If this person or these persons approve of me, I will have made it. Once I have the amount of money or income I want, then and only then life will be good. Once I get that partner, I'll finally feel loved. If I'm smart enough, I'll be able to solve people's problems. Then I'll never get rejected again. But you already know it never seems to work like that, does it? Unconsciously, you are thinking that some level of success or some skill, some validation will make you feel good enough. But no external validation, trophy, fame, or wealth will ever give you the feeling that you're going to have in just a few minutes here. It will feel like home. It will feel familiar. You may even laugh at how ridiculous it was that you were ever looking outside of you. Because this feeling will be the most obvious thing in the world. In fact, your life trajectory may change after this, and your priorities almost definitely will. You will never be able to go back to that former feeling of not being good enough. How incredible will that be? But if you're not ready for that, if you aren't ready to let go of everything that isn't the true you, then this is your chance to leave. If you're not sure you want to delete all of the old programs that put more importance on external things than internal things, you may turn this off until you're ready. Now, you have unintentionally moved through life, adding subconscious programs that gave you anxiety if you risked not getting approval, that gave you guilt or shame for not meeting other people's standards. You learned to compulsively strive for something external, hoping that it would fill your cup. You expanded loads of energy to suppress your true desires, your true self, which has caused fatigue and a whole host of symptoms. You put more emotional weight on what others thought and felt than about what you thought and felt about yourself. And you created coping mechanisms to deal with that. But that's okay. That got you to this point, and that all ends here. Because those are all learned behaviors, you can unlearn them rapidly. Here today, you release all of those old limiting subconscious programs and find self-acceptance, peace, authenticity, and unlock the limitless energy that only your true self can provide. You can let your eyes close as you prepare for this ultimate quest. And in this quest, you will find a destination you arrive at when you stop trying to get somewhere. A dragon that you slay by not fighting with it. A treasure that finds you when you stop looking for it. This is a journey where you become who you are meant to be by being who you always were. In a moment, I'm going to ask you some questions. Don't try to answer them. Just marinate on them. Examine the answers that arise spontaneously and just ponder the questions. Who are you? Ask yourself, who am I? Knowing that whatever answer comes to you, you are always more than that. Who wouldn't you be if you weren't you? Just relaxing deeper into that question. When wouldn't you be if you weren't now? And really, when else is there? Where wouldn't you be if you weren't here? Knowing that wherever you go, you've arrived here. There is no right way and there is no wrong way to just allow this trance to progress, to envelop you deeper and deeper, to let go of even the effort it takes to make the effort, to be aware of the position of arms and legs or the entire body now. As you begin to get a sense of drifting beyond time and beyond space, knowing the deeper you go, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the deeper you go. Now, allowing the sound of my voice to prepare you for what you are about to experience. It may be intense. It may reset your nervous system. You may feel a flood of energy like you've never felt before. It's possible that you will be surrounded by a brilliant light with its own level of divine intelligence. In a few moments, you may feel a sense of overwhelming peace and oneness. But one thing is for sure, there is no going back. You will fundamentally experience the world differently after this. Your perceptions will change, and for some, your old limiting programming will dissolve completely. One can find joy that had been lost. And it's not out of the question for those old symptoms you were having to completely disappear for good as you embrace your authentic self. I can't be sure exactly what wonderful and unique experience you may have, but I do know this. You will have the exact experience you need. In a moment, I'll count down from 5 to 1, each number allowing you to go even deeper. Each number you feel calmer and more at peace. And with each number, you may feel gentle warmth and comfortable heaviness, increasing until I say 1 and you reach the perfect trance for transformation. 5, feeling safe, calm, and at peace, relaxing your eyelids, your entire tongue, and even the hair on your head. 4, feeling that gentle warmth spread through your entire body. 3 times heavier and more comfortable. 2, let go of even the constructs of time and space. At 1, with yourself, at the level of the perfect trance, to have a profound metaphysical experience. Imagine with me, if you will, one day the creator of all things, the Great Spirit, the divine intelligence behind all of life, looked down on his creation. He saw an empty space that needed to be filled. Something was missing in a beautiful open meadow, and he knew just what it needed. So he picked the perfect seed to fill that void and gave it to his trusted servant, the raven. In Lakota tradition, the raven represents metamorphosis, change, transformation. He gave the raven very precise instructions for where to place the seed. There are no accidents after all. That morning, the raven flew high above the white-capped mountains, the sand-swept deserts, the crystal blue waters of the lakes, and the deep greens of the dense forests. Riding the current of the great winds, his feathers lit by the morning sun. The less he worked, the more the winds took him exactly where he needed to go, until he circled above the green open meadow below. He spiraled down to meet Mother Earth and plant the seed in the exact spot the Creator had planned. And you can probably imagine what it was like for the seed on this great journey. The raven dropped the seed and covered it with the earth until the perfect depth is reached. Now, to start transformation. As the seed lay dormant, relaxed, at peace, in perfect stillness, slowly going deeper into its new home. And as the seed, you realize you have everything that you need. The perfect nutrients, the perfect amount of water. The conditions are just right for you to grow and flourish. For the Creator does not make mistakes. But most importantly, as the seed, you have the blueprint for life within you, the template for everything you will become, the perfect divine plan to be everything you were meant to be. And while that seed is lying dormant, preparing to germinate, let's examine your life. And I want to speak to that unconscious part of you. I want to ask to examine all of the times where you have hidden your authentic self, when you have adapted a strategy that wasn't the true you and became a program that hid your true nature. And as your unconscious mind examines your entire life, you may realize there are several strategies that people tend to use to navigate this world. Some people cover themselves in armor so they don't get hurt. And some people carry weapons and attack first so they don't get attacked. Some people use tools or instruments to soothe and appease others. And some people cover themselves in camouflage so their true self can't be seen to even be criticized. And let your unconscious mind examine the use of all of these strategies in life. Notice all of those times when you suppressed the real you, how awkward it felt, looking back on it, notice how ridiculous it was to change yourself for someone else. And imagine laying down all of those armor and weapons and tools, all of the camouflage, all of the facades that you used to carry. And notice how good it feels as you begin the process. And your unconscious mind begins to unlearn all of those strategies now, completely unwinding your defense mechanism, your weapons, and the programs that made you hide your true self. And it can quickly unlearn and release these programs. In a moment, I'm going to have you look deep inside and find a light deep within you. Imagine looking into the depth of your being, deep into your core. And notice the spaciousness that fills your body, like the cosmos within you. And way down deep, notice a light off in the distance, a single speck of light. And as you put your attention on that speck, notice it coming closer and brighter. Notice the color. Maybe there's a sound. And as that light gets closer and brighter, notice the frequency, the vibration associated with it. Notice how good it feels, how familiar it feels. And I don't know if it happens all at once or instantly, but you realize this is the frequency and the light of your true self. And allow that light to move closer and closer, brighter and brighter, filling the empty space. Notice the feeling, the radiance. Maybe you hear the sound of a chorus of angels. As that light moves into every cell, it starts at the base of your spine, moves down your legs, down to your feet, shining brighter and more colorful, releasing and shedding everything that isn't the true you. And feel that light, that signature frequency that the Creator planted in you, moving up through your spine, through every nerve in your body, into every cell, every fiber, moving into your heart space. As you feel your heart expanding, filled with this bright, brilliant light, moving through you, in you, as you. There is nothing you need to do, nowhere you need to go, and nothing you need to change. As you allow this frequency, this light planted inside of you by the Creator to flow down your arms, and you may notice an uncontrollable pulsing of energy in your palms. Every cell in your body lit and vibrating with this frequency. Moving up your neck to the base of your spine, the base of your skull, into your brain, even the hairs on your head. Filling the aura that surrounds you like a ball of brilliant light. Washing through every part of you, that energy continues to flow, continues to accelerate, taking on a life of its own. And you feel it forming a ball on the top of your head, pouring this source of authentic energy and light and joy through the top of your head, through every part of you. Noticing the feeling, embracing the feeling. This frequency, allowing it. Noticing that everything that you used to strive for, nothing could bring you this joy. Nothing could bring you this freedom. And see the light and the energy flowing through every part of your life as your authentic self. And notice how different you show up. Without a facade, without a mask. Without trying to please people, just being yourself every moment of every day. And see yourself carry this energy into your relationships, into your work, into every part of your life. As your unconscious mind sheds even more of the old programs, even more of the limiting patterns and beliefs, this true, authentic energy flows through every part of you, stronger and stronger, brighter and brighter. You may have an overwhelming sense of peace or wellness. And you think back now to that little seed that started to grow into a shoot, started to produce leaves, and it noticed its environment around it. It noticed all the weeds and the flowers, the buzzing bees and the swarming gnats. And quickly, this shoot began to outgrow its peers. It noticed that it didn't look like the weeds or the flowers. It didn't look like anything around it. And as it continued to grow, taller and faster than anything in its environment, it felt alone and it felt scared. And the weeds and the flowers teased it for having a woody stem. And the seed thought, surely this is a mistake. The creator must have made a mistake when he created me. But as the seasons passed, that little shoot grew and grew and grew into a giant tree, spreading roots down deep into the earth and beautiful green leaves drawing energy from the sun. And it created shade for the deer and the rabbits and refuge for the caterpillars and the birds and the squirrels. And it had a purpose that it couldn't see until it grew. And it had to surpass all of its peers and to be itself, to allow the blueprint for life that the creator placed in it to express itself. And imagine feeling the energy flowing up from the roots and in from the leaves as the sun washes over that tree. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 3. When I snap my finger, you will stabilize that energy of the authentic self in every cell. Imagine being aware of every cell in your body resonating with that frequency. That is you. That is your home. That is your true and authentic self. Locking in to every cell in 3, 2, 1, locked in now. Knowing that you can experience this frequency at any time by just intending and allowing it to come forward. By seeing that ball of light over your head pouring that frequency, that joy, that radiance into you. And at any time, you can close your eyes and feel every cell finding its way back to this frequency, memorizing this feeling. And like awakening from a dream, it's easy to forget exactly what happened in that dream. As you begin to wake up, your memory of exactly what happened tends to fade quickly. But you're still left with that feeling, with the understanding of who you truly are. And the unconscious mind always knows. It never forgets. Even though this dream may quickly or slowly begin to fade away. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. I'll snap my fingers and you'll wake up feeling refreshed, alive, and at peace. Moving through the world as your authentic self. As your unconscious mind has repurposed those old programs that hid you, that changed you, that thought you had to be something other than what you were. You're going to wake up feeling refreshed, alive, and at peace. 1, coming back into that beautiful body. 2, feeling the energy flow through your breath, into your hands, into your toes. 3 times more peace and wholeness. 4, the rest of your life. 5, totally free to be yourself, eyes open, feeling incredible. How's everybody doing? Good. Valerie, you looked like you were deep. Yeah, Alexander, good. So I learned something about myself during this process, but I'd love to hear any feedback. Who had an experience they'd like to share? Everybody's still waking up here. All right, not everybody all at once. Freddie, what did you think? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Yeah, that was really well. I think you somewhere along the line you kind of suggested that we wouldn't remember it all. When I don't remember it all, but I remember feeling great.
Okay.
And
okay.
It's a beautiful understanding that you're already a whole being. You don't need to be anyone else. My mantra for a long time now is that you're already the most incredible creation. And just towards the end now, I just thought, if it's okay with you, Nick, I'll just get everyone to do something, if that's okay. I'd like you all just to lift your left hand up and turn the palm towards you. And I want you to look at your hand as if looking at it for the very first time. Look at your hand, and I want you to marvel at that hand. Just marvel at it. Just look at it. How incredible is your hand? Just for a moment, Think about all the things that hand has enabled you to do. All the things that you've done in your life, and just without even thinking about that hand. But think about all the things it's enabled you to do. Just look at it for a moment. What an incredible creation your hand is. Just for a moment. Look at every line. Look at every, maybe some of you have got calluses on your hand. You know, from all the things you've created and done. But think about the people you may have held in your hand. Think the love you felt in that hand. And the things it's enabled you to do. Just for a moment, take that time just to marvel how incredible your hand is. Then come back into the now. And just think that is just one aspect of your incredible body. How incredible are you? You are the most incredible creation. And the essence of who you are, your true authentic self, as Nick was saying, is pure light, energy and love. And anything that's not that is not you. Just think about that for a moment. Anything that is not that is not you. Just hold that thought. It was really good, Nick. Really great. Thanks for doing that and putting it together for us all.
Yeah, I had so someone sent me a message. I won't say who because it was a private message, but they said they noticed a change of energy recognized by tears, not crying, but just tears running down their face. And so as you allow this different energy to surface, and you allow yourself to take those masks and facades and set them aside, and the new energy flows through you, it will clear out trapped emotions, repressed experiences, all kinds of things. And so you may process some of that as the day goes on. I'm not sure. But this process is really, you know, for me, I got into hypnosis to change myself. I don't know if that was a lot of you, but I wanted to be better and I wanted to be more charismatic and I wanted to be better at sales and succeed in certain things and be a better athlete. And so
it worked, Nick.
It does. It works. It works great. But the only thing is, if you're not also tapping into the core of who you are, if you're not like clearing those identities off and allowing that authentic part of you to penetrate every cell and to be that in every moment of every day, then all of these layers of programs we're adding to it, they're not sustainable, or they're not going to get you what you really want, which is the sense of fulfillment and wholeness that only comes from within. Right? We all think once I get this goal, then I'm set, right? And that never comes. It's only when it's once I accept myself and allow myself to live at that frequency without the programs and identities that are not me. Most of them are placed on us by society. Without those, when we can feel our true selves, then we have joy. It takes energy to suppress that. So when we remove that, then we have energy. We have intuition, we have inspiration, we have creativity. All those come because of who you are, not by being something else. Does that make sense?
No, on our tour today, that Jenny took me on around, you know, the beautiful sites around Dublin. You know, we were talking about this today, but holding that sense is quite difficult, and that's something we have to do. I'm sure, as I do, we're all feeling it right now because Nick's taken us through this process. But it's something we have to continue to remind ourselves to do. Because the world's still out there. The world's still going to get to you. The world's still going to put their pressures on you, stresses on you. We have to keep bringing ourselves back to this moment where we know who we are. And a few years back, I had a dream about Tom Hanks, which is a strange thing to do. Maybe some of you dream about Tom Hanks, but I did. It's right, it was a perfectly nice dream. But in this dream, I was hypnotizing Tom Hanks with this induction I don't believe had been created at the time. So as I do, the next day I put out on Facebook, I had this dream about Tom Hanks. If you want to learn this induction, put Tom Hanks, put the name Tom Hanks in the comment. About 400 or 500 people commented. But one person was a little bit lazy. They just put T Hanks, which strangely enough spells thanks. And so I created this thing called the thanks protocol. And some of you, if you've been in my groups before, you've heard me say it. But for many years now, I've been saying to my students, when we're working with our clients, hold the thought in your heart, I care about you and I want you to be well. If you feel it's legitimate to say it, then say it. But we should all be, if we're working with clients, and I know most of you are, if you're working with people, you're caring for people, hold the thought in your heart. I care about you and I want you to be well, because I think it transfers through in everything that we say. And that with the Tom Hanks thing, and in 2019 maybe, my son Anthony and I went to India to run some courses in India. And my son Anthony and I, when we're going abroad, we have this little competition to see who can learn as much of the language as we can before we get to the country. I think we should all at least be able to say hello and goodbye and thank you and please. It's at the very minimum. So anyway, he started learning Hindi and he didn't tell me. He didn't tell me we were going. He had a head start on me. Anyway, so he had a sneaky start on me. So I spoke to a friend about this and he said, well, you really don't need to know Hindi because the majority of people in India speak really good English, and they do, and it's true. So I asked my friend, I said, what is, he said, you just need the greeting, which is namaste. And I said, well, what does it mean? He said, it means I recognize the God within you, which I think's a really beautiful greeting. But, you know, not being a very religious person myself, if you just change one letter in it, it becomes, I recognize the good within you. So all these things going around in my mind, I put this thanks protocol together, and you might like it. And it's a way of keeping ourselves on track, keeping what Nick has given us today and keeping it, you know, when in those times when the world's getting to us. And I think if you were to do this every morning for a couple of minutes, I think your week would change, your life would change. And this is how it goes. And you aim these words at yourself, okay? And this is what you say to yourself. And if you breathe in that kind of beautiful box breathing at the same time, so as you breathe in and breathe out and maybe count 5 or 6 on each breath, you say these words to yourself and aim them at yourself because it's true. I recognize the good within you. Thank you. I care about you and I want you to be well. I'm going to say it again. You can write it down if you want, but you'll have this recording anyway. I recognize the good within you. Thank you. I care about you and I want you to be well. Aim these words at yourself and maybe do it for 2 minutes when you first wake up in the morning, or when you're, you know, when you're doing your makeup, or you're having a shave. You know, you're looking in the mirror, just say these things to yourself. I recognize the good within you. You all have it in you. That's why you're here. That's why you're participating in this. Because within you, you have that goodness, that, you know, the light, the love, the energy I was talking about earlier. It's who you are. I recognize the good within you. Thank you. Thank yourself for being who you are. Thank you. I care about you. I want you to be well. Just do it. Do 2 minutes of just saying that to yourself and see what happens to your life. And that way you'll be able to hold this feeling we're all feeling now that Nick's, has taken the time to think about and create for us. You are pure light, energy, and love.
I think Linda has a comment. Should we check in with her?
Yeah.
Whoop. I think I muted her. Hold on, Linda. You're still muted. There you go.
Hi. When you say that mantra, I recognize the good within you. I think thank you and want you to be well. Thank you. I care about you. Would we say it in the I sense? So I recognize the good within myself.
Yes. Yes. So you're aiming at yourself, Linda.
Yeah.
If you have to use a mirror, use a mirror. But get into that and understand it. When we're working with our clients, take the time out. Sometimes, especially when we're working with our clients, we're so caught up in the protocol, the techniques, what we're supposed to be saying, that we don't spend the time to just look at our client for a few seconds until you recognize the good within them. When I was in India and we were working with maybe 150 students there, and I had this idea and I said to them, I want you all, before you practice these techniques, just to take a couple of seconds, look the other person in the eye and see the good within them. And I swear this is true. We had grown men crying. Because how often does someone take the time out to actually appreciate you? How often does that happen in our life? So do it for yourself. Look in that mirror when you're having a shave or you're doing your makeup. You'll remember these words, I promise you, because now I've said it. The next time you are looking in the mirror to do your makeup or you're having a shave, you'll remember these words. And you'll find yourself looking yourself in the eye in the mirror and just saying, I recognize the good within you. Thank you. I care about you. I want you to be well. Just see what happens. And if you can, and it takes some practice, if you can get to the point where you are the person in the mirror looking back at yourself, you'll have the experience that Nick was talking about today, where you recognize that you are far more than your physical body. It takes some practice until you are in the mirror looking back at yourself, saying those words to yourself. But that is an incredible place to be. How incredible are you?
Go ahead, Linda.
It was just a wonderful experience. Thank you so much. It really was. My whole body felt tingly. I feel so relaxed. And I just totally agree about the thanks and everything. And I think when we're working with our clients, I think of yourself as your authentic self towards that client. I think that is so important, that psychodynamic loop, if you like, where you're just wanting the best for them and you're facilitating. And
Right. So if you want to work with them and get the result for them to praise you and you need their validation, there's this energy. It's not as clean. You're not as effective. You're a little needy. But when you come from this, I'm just in my authentic self and I'm really connected to them, the words come, the transformation comes. You see them as their authentic self as well. And the work it's different, right? We can talk about language patterns and all that stuff all day long, but it's that energy and the intention that's there that makes such a difference. Do you want to see how fast we can reconnect to that state? Is everybody up for that real quick? We'll just take a minute. All right. So close your eyes. And I just want you to have an intention to allow that energy to come back. Almost like if you took a bobber and you submerge it in water, you don't have to do anything. Just let that bobber go and it will rise to the surface. Just stop holding it and allow that authentic part of you to rise to the surface, to move through and penetrate every single cell, to radiate out through your pores. See the color of it, feel the frequency of it. And imagine there's that ball of brilliant light above your head, flowing down through your crown, down through every cell, washing away the masks, the facade, the strategies, as you can just be yourself now. And notice the feeling that comes when you accept this. And tell this part of you, I care about you and I want you to be well. In a moment, I'll snap my fingers. It's going to lock into every cell once again in a way that you will never forget that you are this brilliant energy, frequency, light, and love. 3, 2, 1. Into every cell. You can open your eyes, coming back into the room, having strengthened that feeling even more now. Doesn't take so long, does it?
Great.
It's always there.
You know, the Rudyard Kipling quote was great. If you strive your whole life, I'll strive my whole life to be rich, is how it goes. And I met a man who had nothing, and I realized how poor I was, something like that.
Beware of over-concern for money or position or glory. Someday you will meet a man who cares for none of these things. Then you will know how poor you are.
Reminds me of a quote by another great poet, a writer, Ma Gump, Forrest's mother.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite quotes. She says, a man only needs so much money to live on, and the rest is for showing off. So, I love that quote.
Well, good. Well, should we cut them loose, Freddie? It's been a good day. And next week, we're going over the body, health, and happiness that you want, right? You're leading that one?
Creating the body, health, and happiness that you want.
Perfect. And the week after that, I am going to do a full week on persistence. So I know we did a little segment on persistence a while ago, but I think it's so important to have that as a subconscious program. So we're going to do some persistence, and then we'll figure out what's after that. But it's been lovely to see all of you, and I'm interested to hear next week how your week is as you move through the world as your free, authentic self.
Been great. You're all beautiful, light, love, and energy. That's who you all are. Just for a moment before we go, just feel it in this group. Have a look around. You've got everyone on gallery view. Have a look around and just get a sense of what that feels like. It's this little group. Wherever you are in the world, I know Nolene's in Tasmania, Nick's in America. Some of us in Europe, I'm in Ireland. Yet we're all connected through this little group. Get a sense of that now. And take that with you into everything you do this week. And we'll see you again soon. Thanks for being here. We'll see you soon. Thanks again, Nick. It was a beautiful session. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Freddie.
Thank you.
We'll
Thank
see
you both of
next
you.
time.
Thank you, Freddie. It's brilliant.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Thanks so much.
See
Thank
you.
you.
You.